I was not prepared for the Twits. I also wasn't prepared to have loved it as much as I did. It was it was a journey. Watching this movie, finishing this movie, thinking about this movie afterwards, wanting to watch it again. It was wow. What am I talking about? So there are more Roald Dahl books than we remember, or at least I do. And if you've heard that name or don't remember that name, here's a little example of other stories we could thank him for. A little thing called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The movie is called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but still both very delightful. Let's see, Matilda, The Witches. The man was wise in the way that he was very good at balancing cynicism and hope. And it made really good children adventure films, really good. They aged really well because yeah, when people are wrong, they're just simply wrong. And this movie is all about the Twits being wrong and doing it in style. Ugh. And I loved that. I love when cartoons go to this 11th dial. When the dial was supposed to be at 10, it went to 11. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun and better written than I was expecting. Now, who are the Twits? The Twits are a married couple. Apparently, they've been married for 47 miserable years, so they appear to be in their 60s. Yeah. And they're an angry old couple, kind of Frank and Marie, only they are more physically obnoxious to each other. And they are silly, but they love one thing, and that was the amusement park they built in their backyard, Twitlandia. And yes, it is trash. A lot of this movie reminded me of Codename Kids Next Doors, and I don't say this to bring down those inventive kids, but you can just sort of tell that this was made by amateurs, weird, gross amateurs that are very tone deaf. The Twits can think on their feet, they can, but they are rather illiterate and gross. So yeah, that's where part of the joy comes from, where Twits know how to tell you what you want to hear, but damn, they do not care deep down, and they will show that too. Got the entire plot of this movie. The plot that I told other people with delight was the Twits are two gross adults that pick a fight with an orphanage. You'd think people that built an amusement park would want to, invite kids. Mostly they want to invite people with money, and honestly, if you've been to an amusement park, yeah, it's not so much about children's joy as it is making money. I'm not even mad at them. Anyway, about the Twits' personalities, they are excellent villains, okay? They're charming in their trashy way. Their motivation is super petty, but they do it with style. Ugh. Now again, they're in their 60s, so they should not be as flexible and sturdy as they are. I donate that to the magic of, animation and cartooning. But also, they show their moments where they are their age. Like Mrs. Twit has a cane, and they both can't go upstairs because, and that was nice. Now, is the animation great in all points? I think the sequencing, and also mostly from Credenza, Mrs. Twit, she does a lot of fine little things with her face and hands. Oh, and all the violence that she causes with her cane. Yes, her walking cane is just delightful. Watching her do those things is great. Her husband is a weird inventor, and yeah, Codename Kids Next Door, Little Jimmy Neutron. It's all made out of junkyard materials, but it is pretty ingenious. Yeah. Their house is also another reason to watch the movie again, just to look at all the weird, freaky details. Of course, these people are into taxidermy. Of course, they, hide animals in cages like monsters. Ugh. They even have their own villainous song, which is actually quite delightful. We're the only ones out here who are free. It's so folksy and ridiculous and great. It's just great. Now, this movie isn't exactly a musical. It has a few singing moments, mostly from the Twits, but no, it's not really a musical. Though, whoever wrote this, I think could write a musical. Again, the other characters are orphans. Our brave orphan girl Bisha is voiced by the very funny Maitreya Ramakrishnan. She, if you've ever seen that Netflix like teen comedy drama show Never Have I Ever, she's that angry little girl with all the sass in the world. Yeah, and she brings that into this character. Like, Bisha is good in the way that, yes, she is very, very cynical and does see the terror in the world, but for the sake of comforting her friend Bubsy, she tries to backpedal. Like, when she sees Twitlandia, she's like, yeah, that looks like a place where kids go to die, but we can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, she does have a good sense of wisdom and moral sense to see that the world is corrupt and wants to do something about it herself. Oh, also a little fun thing about the Twits, when they're like fighting the orphanage and like attacking it, Bisha outwits them, and at one point the Twits actually stop and say, "You're a worthy opponent. I think I want to adopt you." Of course Bisha calls them out on their nonsense and such, but they genuinely had a moment of where, okay, not bad. But the adults around her are not helpful. If anything, they're so detrimental. And you think, wow, how can a movie portray adults as so reckless and useless? Well, I can say as an adult, it's very easy to become pathetic when your dreams die, compromises are made, and you just want to believe in any hope, even when that hope comes from two trashy criminals like the Twits. Yeah. Anyway, the Twits hate Bisha in particular because when she and her friend Bubsy visit their horrible amusement park, even after it's been condemned by the city, for reasons, watch the movie to find out, they find some magical monkeys called the Mugglewumps. Is that ridiculous? From the same person who made up Oompa Land, not really. And cute factor as an animal lover, apparently they can speak to the Mugglewump monkeys. They don't call them that, they just call them the Mugglewumps, because they are children with deep empathy, and I love that. I think you do need to like have compassion and empathy to read animal language and to have patience with, taking care of animals. So yeah, the Mugglewumps are apparently being used by the Twits because they're magical. Yeah, literally they're harvesting their tears. Yeah. And what's funny about the characters of the Mugglewumps is they were male and female who have a daughter, but it is strongly implied that if they were not trapped in a cage together, I do not think Mary Mugglewump would have ever gotten with Marty. No. She looks at him with so much resistance and such. Yeah, they both love their daughter, of course. She seems to be a kid with a good head on her shoulders. Honestly, some of the best dialogue I think is from the Mugglewumps. Of course, the only good parents in this movie are talking animals. And it surprised the heck out of me where, yes, these adult animals, they see the orphan kids and they actually take it upon themselves to care for them in a way that even the orphanage's kind but wimpy, facilitator cannot handle. Yeah, Bisha's basically been running the place. But no, Mary Mugglewump actually provides a tough but caring mother figure to her and genuinely helps her. One of my favorite quotes from this movie is Bisha keeps saying, "I'm fine." She said it to Bubsy over and over, and then she said it in front of them. And then at one point, Mary is just like, "Oh my God, child, if you say I'm fine one more time, I'm going to eat your elbows." Yeah, of course it gets cheesy with the whole found family thing, but what keeps that sugar balanced with the sour are all the ridiculous things the Twits do to destroy an orphanage because they want their Mugglewumps back. Yeah. They are so obviously awful, but as we've seen in recent years, people will root for the awful people, the mavericks, the heroes. So is this a very cynical movie? Yes. Do I think people can appreciate that? Yes. What made me stop watching it at one point and not want to finish it, but then it just stayed in my head and I had to. But what made me stop for a moment was it has incredibly nasty and crass humor. Yeah, it's gross and silly. And maybe if I was a little kid, I'd appreciate it more. Probably not. Maybe it just takes the kind of person that likes poop jokes. Yeah, there's a lot of ones and they are strong and it's ridiculous. But, despite that, I did grow to like and care about the characters enough, and truthfully, when I put it on the second time, I was not so much worried about the orphans, they could take care of themselves, as much as I just loved watching the Twits like go through their little day-to-day things, again, they might hate each other, but they might also be best friends. And that's what you want in a marriage after over 40 years. So that part was cute. They will absolutely never say anything nice, but they're always there for each other and they enjoy being terrible together. And aw, I like that. They are wonderful villains. Other things about this movie. I enjoyed the animation a lot. I really did. It's mostly CG, and that's cool. Like, people really give CG a hard time, I think. Sure, I miss hand-drawn animation too, but to say CG doesn't have its quality is just unfair and untrue. Like, in this case, the characters' designs reminded me a lot of Laika's Paranorman, where they're jagged, a little gross, but they all kind of like blend together, and it's all these like murky colors. Yeah, and everything's kind of crooked and a little askew, but that's what makes the details fun. The only other movie I can say that almost looks like that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that came out most recently. You know, where you can kind of just see squiggle designs as if like a kid colored it in. A very passionate kid. So many mainstream movies have been skipping villains because, you know, they want their antagonists to be misunderstood and sympathetic, because real bad guys aren't just simply bad. That's no fun at all. You can have misunderstood characters, that's fine, but the best part about the Twits is you don't misunderstand them. They might sidetrack you, but they are not subtle in their grossness. And whoa, that was just fun to watch. It's like, God, I wish I could be a Twit. Ugh. I thought the pacing was good. I thought the humor, while gross, it also had its quiet moments of just good wit that I appreciated. Can I recommend this movie to anybody? I think if you like animation and just silly stuff, then sure. Do I think everyone will like enjoy it? I definitely will say that the part with the mayor, if you see the movie you'll know what I'm talking about, was kind of a stopper for me, but I was charmed enough to finish it. But yeah, there are elements to it where I think people will say, okay, that's a little too much, it's too icky, I don't want to watch that, I don't want my kid to watch that. And that's too bad, but that's a preference. So, yes, I enjoyed the Twits. I hope other people see it. I hope this company makes other movies. I'm sure there are other, like, Roald Dahl stories that haven't been made that could be made. Honestly, after watching Wicked recently, I reminded myself that there are a lot of, like, Wizard of Oz books or just, like, Oz, like, storybooks that were not made into movies, and they actually would be enjoyable. So, if an animation company needs some inspiration, and yeah, the Land of Oz is getting a little hype right now, I would so much more prefer it to be animated than more live action. But I say that about every story. So that's just my opinion.